Awesome.
I'm recording now, so we can just start whenever you want.
We can't ever start, actually. I've determined that this Welcome to the last episode.
The last episode.
It's actually not the last episode, but it'd be funny if we treated it like it was.
Thank you guys all for
Just do a really bad clip show.
Thank you all guys for watching us for these past 5 years.
It really means a lot to us. It's a shame that me and Bill are going our separate ways after the divorce. You never really know anything about somebody until you do a podcast with them for 5 years. And I think it's time we send this ship sailing, you know?
It's time we lower it into the ground and we say our goodbyes.
I'm not actually saying goodbye. I'm actually kicking you off the podcast.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see how it is.
I found
okay.
a new and better co-host.
Oh, okay. Well, jeez, makes me sad. Oh no.
Just know.
Okay.
That I don't mean it.
I don't know about that, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, okay then.
Okay, so here we are.
This is the final episode.
The final
it's really
episode.
Before we get going much farther, though, I do have one thing that I need to update from the last episode. So last time I had talked about how the PlayStation 3 store was going to shut down. Yeah, Sony reversed that decision. They're not doing it anymore. I think the Vita store is still going down, or maybe it's the PSP store. But yeah, they decided that they weren't going to shut it down because there was enough backlash, which is awesome.
Yes, I did hear about that. One of my friends who's really big into like video game news, as you are, also told me that, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool actually. I didn't think Sony would actually do that, but I think you're right. I think the PS3 store is staying up, but I think either the PSP or the Vita store is closing down.
This is good because there was an irreversible like glitch with the way they've set up the digital games, to where it's tied to like either the internal battery on the console or like the or you need a system link to the store, like you need to be connected to the store to play any kind of online game. And the problem with this is that if your battery's dead and the store goes offline, then you just straight up can't play the games you've bought digitally, which is kind of a problem.
I would say so, yeah. What the heck? What's going on here, Sony?
The PS4 is the exact same way, by the way, except that it also affects disc games, so that's even more of a problem.
Oh, jeez.
Which I just want to know, how do you fuck that up? You know? How do you make it so that the discs don't work as well? It's one thing for the downloaded games to not work. The discs, what point? What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, what's the point of even having a disc game then? Like, what?
Right. I mean, you can jailbreak your console to get around this restriction, but that's also just a lot more work.
And you shouldn't have to do that.
You shouldn't have
to. Like, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that referendum from the last episode. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all in a day's work of. I wanted to make sure that before we sent off this podcast, like a Viking ship, to die, I would make sure that we've righted all of the wrongs.
Exactly. I know. It's gonna be so sad.
It really will be, huh?
I'm just gonna. You're just gonna hear me start crying every once in a while. Like,
we need like sad music for the entirety of this podcast.
Yeah, like the entire music will be sad piano music.
Yes, perfect. This is what I want, actually. Do you remember that time where we spoke about food? Because I feel like we've done that at least once. It's been a lot of time over this 5 years. I forget what we've talked about before.
God. Geez, yeah, I don't know. That was so long ago. I really don't know.
Yeah, I barely remember. So today we wanted to. Somebody let my dogs down here. I'm gonna go fix that real quick so that they don't just
Oh,
appear in the background. You can
okay.
probably hear them.
Yes, I did. I heard like a jangling of keys. I was like, what am I hearing?
No, let me go fix this real quick because somebody keeps letting them down here and then they want to play and it's really loud. Okay.
All right, goodbye. Don't tell Diego this, but I think you should have let the doggies stay. I like doggies. He should have taken a video with them so I could have edited it in. Damn. Rest in peace, doggies. Just like the podcast, it's over. Oh no. Diego, come back to me. Diego, please come back. I need my co-host. I can't run a podcast by myself.
There we go. Now they're upstairs.
Unlike Joe Rogan, I actually need my co-hosts.
What? Lame. You were gonna start your own podcast without me anyway.
You rat bastard.
Damn you. You were gonna take this pony show on the road.
You're right. And in the divorce proceedings, I also got the entire house and custody over all of the kids, so
But
goodbye.
I got the name of the podcast, so really who's winning?
Damn, you're right. We need to...
I spared no expense to procure like the best lawyer to get me just the name of the podcast.
And you got the dogs.
We
Unfortunate.
can get the dogs. I also got the weird crab that we have.
You have a crab?
No, we had a crab. It's mine now.
Oh no. Jeez. No.
Not the crab.
Not the crab. Not
You better
not
say goodbye to Crabbington, because like he's gonna be angry.
Crabbington. Crabby Crabbington. I like that. I really
Where
like
were
this
we?
bit.
I don't remember.
I don't know, whatever. This is our existence now. We're just here to talk. It doesn't even matter at this point.
We're voices in the void of everything.
Pretty much.
Anyway, I think before I was so rudely interrupted by my own two dogs, we were gonna talk about like summer experiences that we've had, because I know I vaguely touched on it last time, because I think summer is fun, and like Snap Punch is the drink of the summer that I can't have anymore, so, you know, I might as well just like find a new summer drink. But outside of that, I feel like we have enough years under our belt, for summer stuff, so yeah.
Well, your summer stuff is going to be better than mine because lately, I mean, for the past like 3-4 years, I've just been working each summer and haven't really been doing much. So,
Well, Phil, do you want to elaborate on work, or is it just like, do you have any interesting, cool summer stories from work?
well, I have a lot of interesting stories from work because my gas station is full of crackheads and meth heads, so I have a lot of stories I
Yo.
could tell.
Pick like the best one.
Okay, well,
just work from there.
so normally, like, these guys that come in that are clearly, like, on something, they're normally pretty harmless. Like, most of them are just annoying, and you just want them to leave. But I think it was, like, 2 weeks ago now, about 2 weeks ago, we had this guy come in, and I don't know what was with him, but, like, it was just, like, his mannerisms were a little off, but, like, he wasn't really saying anything, so, you know, it was fine. But then he started talking to people, and he would say some really strange things. Like, he would go up to random people, and he would ask them, like, oh, do you remember when we were kids and we played together? And I was like, what? Like, whoa, hold on here.
Obviously, they know each other.
I know, like, it was weird. So he was like 40-something years old, and he asked that to one of my coworkers, and she's, I think, like early 20s. And I'm like,
Did she remember?
yeah, and then she just like started laughing at him because he's clearly on something. And then
Kind of mean.
and then like eventually he found his way over to me, and I was like, oh no. Oh jeez.
What did he ask you, Bill?
So then he was like, hey Bill, can you come help me over here? And I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, I was
Wait,
like,
you
yeah,
knew your
sure.
name?
Because I have a name tag.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
Yeah.
You have to wear a name tag.
And he was like, oh hey Bill, how's it going? I'm like, oh fine. He's like, oh, can you just take me around the store and show me where like your stuff is? And I'm like, sure. So he grabs my arm like an old lady, and I just start taking him around the store. And
Dude, I don't think I could do what you did.
I
'cause,
know.
Like that sounds like I'm not like the worst conversationalist, but when I get into a situation like that, I just don't know what to do, and I just like lock up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was kind of forcing myself not to lock up because, like, this guy was legit really creepy. But I was like,
Mhm.
okay, whatever, I'll go on with this.
You'll
And
play the
then,
bit.
yeah, and then after a while, he's like, oh, okay, cool, this is pretty cool. And then I tried to leave, and he was like, Bill, let me tell you something. Never do heroin, okay? Never do heroin.
I
It's
mean, at
never
least he's
worth
giving you
it.
good advice.
I know. I was like, well, I mean, that's good advice considering you're probably
Well,
on heroin right now. Like, so. And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and hang out in the back of the building, and please don't call the
until
police.
you leave. Yeah.
And so, that's literally what he told me. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go hang out in the back of the building, and please don't call the police. And I was like, okay, I think it's time for you to leave. Like, I think it's time
Yeah.
for you to go.
Sounds good.
And
I only have
then,
like ooh, and then there's
oh
more.
yeah, there's more, unfortunately.
Ooh, I want to hear more.
So then he took forever to check out, and finally my manager had to step in and was like, hey, you need to, like, leave. Like, you're making us and other guests uncomfortable. And he was like, okay, but then he started to get, like, a little irritated, and then he bought a six-pack of, like, donuts, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna buy these, and I'm gonna go feed these to homeless people now. And we're like, okay, bye. Like, what?
All right.
Like,
Sounds good.
okay. I'm like, well, you're gonna feed them to yourself because you're clearly homeless? Like, what? Like...
Well, no,
Oh, man.
he might not have been homeless. You're too quick to judge.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't homeless, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but anyway, and then I thought it was over. I thought it was over,
Oh,
but it's
I
it's
thought it
not
was
over.
over.
It's not over. So then I guess when he was just like chilling in our parking lot for a little bit because he went up to a guest and his son, and he was saying about how he was going to go over to the Mercedes dealership across the street and steal a car and then go rob the bank or something. And he was saying some other weird stuff. And
Hmm.
finally, my manager just went out there and told him off, like really told him off. He was like, "All right, you have to leave. Like, you need to get out of here."
Oh. What a good summer story.
I know, dude. It was okay. I know I probably like undersold it a little bit because he said a lot more stuff, but
For the
like
sake of brevity.
yeah, pretty much. And
You're
like
spared a lot
it
of
was like
that.
just like his mannerisms. It was almost like Hannibal Lecter mannerisms, where he was like clearly like wrong in the head. And I was like, okay, this guy is creepy. I'm staying away. This is not good.
What time of day was this at? Because I keep imagining like late, but then I'm like, but a dad and his son would be like maybe late afternoon.
No, it was, oh geez, maybe like 9 o'clock, something like that.
AM or PM?
PM.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
still that's still not great, but yeah.
yeah, like we get a lot of people, not quite as bad as that, but we get a lot of like druggies because like when it like gets late, they just all come out and we're right off the freeway, so we get a lot of them. But this guy in particular was very, very wrong.
I only had like one encounter with somebody who had been doing drugs, and that was like in my college dorm, which by the way, you're not supposed to be doing any kind of drugs in the college dorm, but as you will. I came in from some event. I was out late. I think I was hanging with friends or something. I got back in late. I went to go like brush my teeth before I went to bed, and we have like a communal bathroom, so it's like you have to go into a separate area to go, like you have to go into a separate room to go brush your teeth. That's like anybody can just walk in. And a guy like in my dorm, he like stops me and he's like, "Look at my eyes." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Do I look high?" And I'm like, I don't know. I really did not know what to do in that situation. He just went, "Okay, good." He went, "Okay, good." And then he like continued about his business, and I'm like, "Okay." Uh, he
That's
grabbed me by the
awesome.
shoulder. I was so confused. I wasn't like scared. I was just more confused, and the situation is something that I've never experienced before, so I just didn't know what to do.
That is so funny, dude. That's awesome.
I mean, I think he still goes to our college. I think they haven't caught him yet because you can get forcibly removed for doing drugs, but
Yeah.
I still don't know his name, so I can't even like out him, which I wasn't planning on it, just in case he ever gets around to hearing this. But I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome. He's like, "Do I look high?"
Do I look high? And I'm like, I do not know, man. I'm sorry. Man, that
Well,
dorm was a trip because there was somebody who was very clearly smoking marijuana because you could smell it in the dorm. And like my RA kept thinking it was me. And I'm like, you know it's not me. And he's like, that's true. You do have your door open all the time, so I would know. I'm like, yeah.
wait,
Like
so
I
your RA was just like, "Yeah, it's you," for no
well because
reason.
no. It's because the smell lingered between because I my next door neighbor was my RA, and the smell always lingered around our door. And it was like there was nobody living across the way, so we don't know why the smell lingered by my door specifically. It wasn't like me or my roommates were smoking marijuana. It just was really heavy by our door. And my only thought is like maybe somebody's doing it right into the vents because we did have a vent right above our door, so that's a thing. But like I have no idea. I think that person it didn't happen the second semester, so I guess they caught whoever was doing it.
That's good, I
Because
guess.
I did hear somebody got removed for smoking marijuana in the dorms. So
Hey, there we go.
it wasn't a problem the second semester.
Cracking
But
down.
marijuana smells really bad, by the way. It's like disgusting. It
Oh
smells
yeah.
so terrible.
Yeah, I have a story about that too from my work.
Oh.
So, I was doing the outside trash where I just went around and was changing the garbages by the pumps and stuff. I would just do that, minding my business, and then this car pulls up. It's like this janky, really crappy car, and I was like, okay, whatever. And like the guy pulls up to a pump. He opens the door right next to me, and he had the strongest marijuana smell I've ever smelled. Like it's like as soon as he opened it, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I had to like cover my nose, and like I almost gagged. It was so bad. I was like, "Oh no!" I was like,
It's
"Boy."
like it smells like skunk, but worse. It's such a terrible smell. And if it's really strong, it just isn't. It's not a good smell. It's like the same thing with like cigarette smoke. Like I just can't stand it.
Pretty much, yeah. And then like I was just like thinking to myself like, wow, like you're lucky there's not a cop here because we do get a decent amount of cops that come in and hang out for a while and just kind of like look out for stuff.
Hmm.
But like I was like, dude, like you are so lucky there's not a cop right now because you would be arrested so fast. Like what?
I feel like we should make it known that marijuana is still illegal in the state of Wisconsin. You can't have it. You can't buy it.
Yeah, pretty
Like
much.
it's. I don't know. I don't think our state. It might be a while before this state passes like any kind of like legal marijuana purchasing anything like that. I don't like. I don't think it's gonna happen at least for a while.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I mean, I think eventually, like, the national government's gonna have to do something about it because at the national level, like, marijuana is illegal, like, period. But, like, and then with certain states, it's legal. So there's, like, this disparity between the national and the state government. So I think eventually something's gonna happen at the national level, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, but I have no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess we're not in the U.S. government, so we have no idea. Like,
yeah, U.S. government.
yeah,
Hell
baby, we
yeah.
can talk about that for a whole
Yeah.
podcast if we
No,
wanted to.
we really shouldn't though. That's a
I
terrible
I
idea.
know, I agree we shouldn't because that
We
would
should
open the
never.
door. That
We
would.
will never. This is an ultimatum from me to everybody that's listening to this podcast. We will never talk about politics on this podcast. Like never ever. I don't want to talk politics. It's not fun to hear people that vaguely know about politics talk about politics.
Agreed. I
So,
know. Like you can have your opinions, but that doesn't mean that we have to listen to
but they're
them.
not fun to listen. Yeah, they're not fun to listen to. So, I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, nah, I'm all right. This is not like this is the funny time podcast. This is not the serious time podcast.
Oh
Um,
man.
do you have a
I,
do
I
you have a
really
story?
wish I really wish I had good work stories because I really only have like one. Because most of the people I've worked with have either been really nice or like nothing interesting really happens. The only story that I have is I will sometimes I work with kids like with one of my jobs it was like a thing where it's like, oh, you just teach them how to code for like a summer job, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Um, and like this was last year, so we were doing like random stuff, like I don't know, we were running camps and whatever, and it was a good time. One of the camps that we ran was like specifically an Among Us related camp, which included us like building an app kind of related to Among Us in like Scratch and like playing rounds of Among Us and some other stuff. And like that was a pretty good time. The problem is that one of the kids got like really upset that he lost a game of Among Us. Like, he started like flipping tables. Like, this was a really bad thing. We were letting them play on iPads, and he like almost like he threw the iPad, and we're like, okay, no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. And it was me and my friend we were coworkers on this, and he's like, and I was like standing there like holding down the table so that he purposefully couldn't knock it up.
Oh god.
I think my favorite part about this was around the time where like half of the people had to leave, because this was like we offered like two different things, like a half day and a full day, and a lot of the people were leaving for the half day. And so the people that were there for the full day were still around. It was really great because because where he was sitting, there's like a window into the room. So as the parents were coming to pick up their kids, they saw me like holding the table down, and I would usually also wave to the parents, like a have a good day, or I'd also be like telling the kids like goodbye, but at the same time like really forcibly holding down this table just so that it didn't get knocked over.
Oh my god.
In the meantime, our boss is like trying to talk to the kid. Like, hey, you have to stop. And then after he didn't for a while, he was like, okay, we're gonna have to call your parents. We did call his parents, and I guess he ended up staying because they ended up talking. Like he ended up talking with his mom over the phone.
I guess that's a nice peaceful way to resolve it, I guess.
This took like half an hour. I would like to let you know.
Oh my
like
god.
it was a straight up half hour of me like I have to hold down this table so that he doesn't break it. Also, the tables had like a thing where you could detach the top part. Don't ask me why, but there was. And he kept like trying to purposefully unscrew the table as well. So that was fun. It took me and my coworker to like stop, we couldn't like hold him back because of the laws and stuff. Because we're like adults, and you can't
Yeah.
you can't like hold a kid down. You know?
Oh no.
It was a fun. I think that's like the most interesting work story I have, because my friend was like losing his mind but couldn't like properly do anything about it because he's like I cannot yell right now because there are so many other kids in the room. And I'm sitting there like, dude, I've experienced worse than this before through other circumstances. I'm just gonna deal with it. And I'm just like trying to keep a happy-go-lucky attitude through the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't blame your coworker though. That sounds really bad. Jeez.
There's so many like that job's really fun though because kids are very interesting. Just like what grabs their attention can be super super interesting.
I actually have to go for like 30 seconds. I'll be back.
How dare you?
All right, see you next time.
Okay.
Did you hear my sister, Diego?
I did not hear your sister, no.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Do you want to say something? We're recording for the podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Diego says hello. Okay, I have to do something, so goodbye, Megan.
Okay, bye, Diego.
Bye.
I think she said bye to me, but like it was really garbled, so maybe?
No, that was my mom. She was down the hallway, and she said, "Hi, Diego," and I was like, "What?"
Yo, I got a hi from Bill's mom. That's awesome. Tell her I say hi back.
Okay, so we're doing stories?
Yeah, I think it was your turn because I had just given my cool work story that I had.
I have another work story. I guess I could tell.
Oh boy.
I have a lot of work stories.
Do we want to keep doing work stories, or do we want to pivot to more summer stories? Because I know that's what we were originally going to talk about.
I know.
No, no, only work stories.
I well, I think I will because this one's kind of meh. So I don't think I'll tell this one on the podcast. Maybe I'll tell you later, but I won't have it on the podcast.
We'll have it off podcast.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay.
So I do have a summer story. This one was when I was a child, and it was me and my sister. We were at our old house, and we were just climbing up this tree. We had this one tree that was pretty good for climbing. It wasn't too big, so like if you fell down, like you'd probably still be hurt, but you wouldn't die or anything.
You would get a concussion, but you wouldn't perish from it.
Yeah, pretty much. So like we were climbing it up, and then like all of a sudden this like giant, and by giant I'm talking maybe like, oh actually I have a tape measure, I can measure it, maybe like 8 or 9 inches, and maybe like 2 inches, maybe not 2 inches, like an inch and a half thick, like green worm like falls from the tree, and it starts like writhing around, and like me and my sister just like screamed bloody murder. We were like,
It's a worm though.
but like keep in mind this is like a huge like thick worm. We're talking like 9 inches long, about maybe 9 or 10 inches long. It was like this huge thick worm, and it was disgusting, and me and my sister just screamed, and we just ran back to the house. We were like, what's going on? What is this thing?
Is it did it look like this, Bill?
Damn you. No, is that Caterpie? No.
Yeah, that's Caterpie.
Caterpie.
Right.
Okay. I'm actually gonna look this up because I've always wanted to know what this is.
If I had to guess based on color, it was like a green. Was it like a teal? Like a greeny teal?
No, it was like bright green, I think.
Bright green. Weird. Because I know I've gotten like for my pet lizards, I've gotten like I've got like, I forget what they're actually called. I want to say they're maybe called waxworms, but they're like a bright teal. It's pretty shocking.
Oh, okay, no, okay, I see it.
No, they're not waxworms. Waxworms are the other one. Which ones am I thinking of?
Okay.
They're called hornworms, and they're specifically, yeah, they're hornworms. They're like really green. They're like here, I'll send you an image.
Okay, I think
Or
yeah.
Goliath worm.
I'm looking it up right now. I have it up, and I think this was it. Because if you look at, I'll send you this picture. It was bigger. It was a lot bigger than this, but it was like this shape though. It was like
That's I'm pretty sure that's just a hornworm.
Yeah, it was
the same thing I think.
It was like at least twice that size though. It was huge.
Yeah, no, they can get really big if you just keep feeding them, because they don't like turn into like a caterpillar.
Yeah.
So they just get massive, and they do look pretty freaky. So yeah, no, I get that. Especially
Yeah.
with the horn on the back end. Like that thing can hurt. They're pretty harmless though. They're just worms.
I know, but like keep in mind that like
where were you that these are just like hanging around? Because I swear they wouldn't last here.
I don't know, dude. Well, I guess I don't know for sure if it was this thing, because this was like at least
This
a
is where you
decade
put
ago.
what a horned worm is up on screen, so that people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll definitely put this up here on the screen for sure. But like keep in mind that like I probably wasn't even 10 yet. It was probably more than a decade. It was like maybe when I was like 7 or 8, and like I was just like, what the heck is this? This is something I've never seen before.
Big worm.
I know, I was like, big worm. I just like screamed. It's like, no.
Nowadays, if I saw one, I'd be a little freaked out, but like I wouldn't be scared of it just because they're pretty
Yeah.
harmless. They don't really do much.
Oh man.
My lizards eat them for breakfast, literally, because they feed them for breakfast sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're actually really good for lizards. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't take them out of the wild because you don't know what kind of diseases they'll carry out in the wild. But like, yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
What the? Okay, I know this is a little off topic, But
we can never deviate from the topic.
so
Never,
I
ignore the last episode. We can never deviate.
I
from
see
the
this like clickbait article about cars. It says people are freaking out over the Jeep Grand Cherokee price drop, and it's from carsgenius.com. But the stupid like image that's trying to get you to click is so bad. I don't know what this is.
I'm so sad that I don't get pushed like these really crappy websites. I think it's because they know I won't click on them.
Oh,
but I really
man.
want them. I really want to be tailored, like really shitty ads. 'Cause it's really funny.
Do you use Microsoft Edge?
I don't. I use Chrome.
Okay, then, because if you use Edge, then like your homepage will basically just be all these bad ads.
My computer at work must think I live in Arizona because they keep pushing me ads for like, hey Arizona residents, if you get a solar panel, you can save money on your electricity bill or whatever. I'm like, I don't really care, but I think it's really funny. It's like I've at least seen like 4 or 5 variations of this one like Arizona residents ad. So,
Interesting.
I'm like, I don't live in Arizona. I don't know how you got this idea that I live in Arizona. I don't have my like notification, or I don't have my like location turned on because I don't need it for work. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so for some reason it won't let me just copy the image, but I'll just grab it to you. It's like this Jeep in like a showroom, but there's this really horribly like photoshopped lady in a bikini just like pointing at it, just going, "Wow."
Ow.
Oh wait, actually, okay, wait, okay.
Use snipping tool.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just realized. Okay, I'll send it to you now. And it just looks really bad. Can I just go like this? There we go. Okay. There you go. And I'm like, what? Like, why?
I don't think you could have described that image well, so that's awesome.
I was like, what is happening? Why would you put that on your article?
Why does she need to wear a bikini?
Exactly.
What does that have to do with the car?
Oh, man. That was a little sidetracked, but I just had to share that. That was really funny.
I guess while we're off topic a little bit, do you know what the Poke Walker is by any chance?
The Poke Walker? I don't. I'll look it up right now.
I can just explain it to you because I don't think it'd take that long to explain. But pretty much, with the release of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they released it with a pedometer that you could just like use with the game. And essentially what you would use it for is to like, as you're walking around, it would give your Pokemon like 1 experience point per step. On top of, you could like use it to on the device battle Pokemon and collect items that you could bring back to the main game.
Okay.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've started using mine again after like a decade.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I've learned that there is a bonus in the game. It's not a good bonus, but it's a bonus. If you walk 10 million steps.
10 million
I want you to
steps?
Yes. On an average day, a human will walk maybe 5,000. You can do the math on how long that takes.
Jeez.
It is not even a good bonus. You get like an in-game berry, which is not even impossible to get otherwise. So it is very not worth it, but I think it is very funny.
So is it like that?
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Okay. I was like, what is going on? What? Like, why 10 million steps?
Yeah. My favorite part is that for the time, it was one of the most accurate pedometers you could buy on the market.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like
That's awesome.
It's like it's funny too because do people use pedometers anymore? I feel like people stopped using them when smartwatches were a thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can get like pedometer apps on your phone, and then like if you have like a smartwatch, you can do that too. So I think like actual pedometers are pretty much useless now.
That's true. This one's cool because it allows me to bring my Pokemon along with me and also play little mini games that cost. May I remind you, you get like whenever you're walking around, one in-game or one estimated calorie gives you 1 watt, and you need the watts to play the mini games. You can't just like play them without them. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And there's also rewards for collecting watts, which I think you need like 100,000, or is it like, I forget what the actual, I think it's 100,000 or maybe 1,000,000 of them before you can even unlock all of like the different walking courses. So
Jeez.
there's a lot, yeah.
Oh
But
no.
side tangent over. Let's go back to the cool summer stories, if you don't mind.
I believe it's your turn.
Oh boy. I have a lot of summer stories, but I don't know if any of them are very interesting to talk about, because I was a Boy Scout, so I have like a lot of like, oh, I went camping and I got to go see this and this and that and this and whatever. But those aren't interesting. Those are just cool. I don't know. I have a lot of just like Boy Scout related things. Like through Boy Scouts I was able to go like backpacking in New Mexico, and I was able to go to like South Dakota, and I was able to go to like Florida, and that was a really good time. I think the one story I have maybe from Boy Scouts that was very interesting is like, so we were hiking in New Mexico, and when I went out there with my troop, we actually broke up into like 2 different teams. So one team would go on one route, the other team would go on the other route. So we actually didn't meet up until like day 9 or whatever. But when we did meet up, they had so many stories to tell us, because they'd been essentially to like hell and back. So there was they were walking along the trail, and when these trails are like essentially one person wide, you just kind of walk single file. One of them was walking, stepped over a rattlesnake, didn't realize it was a rattlesnake until the next guy went to go step over it, and then almost got bitten by one, which is fantastic. I'm so glad he didn't. It would have been... This is also, I think, the same guy that forgot his hiking boots, which is like a really bad thing. So he was hiking in tennis shoes, which really killed his feet.
Jeez, yeah.
May I remind you, because you're like, hiking boots give you so much more support. Yeah, no, he forgot his hiking boots. I thought it was really funny because he was asking me like, I thought he was joking when he told me, because he had told me back at base camp or whatever, like, hey, I forgot my hiking boots. I'm like, you didn't forget your hiking boots. There's no way you forgot. Like, there are 2 things you could not forget: the backpack and the boots. And he forgot half, and I do not know. His mom like had to ship them in the mail, because we could still get mail while we were out there at some of the camps on the trail.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he forgot his boots and was trying to ask me like, hey, can I buy them here? And I'm like, I don't think they sell boots at base camp, because people wouldn't be silly enough to forget them.
You silly man.
like they literally had every other thing other than the backpack that you could buy like at the base camp, just in case you did forget something. No.
Jeez.
He forgot the boots.
Oh, jeez.
I think that same group also, like, if I remember correctly, like they had like a guy who brought like hunting boots with them, thinking that they would work the same, and they were like, yeah, he got blisters all over his feet. Like, it looked really bad. He had to take an entire patch of moleskin just to cover all the blisters so they wouldn't pop. It's great.
Jeez, man.
They had a lot more interesting stories. There was also there's 2 ways to get back to base camp on the final day. You can either kind of take like a faster trail, and it's essentially just like you essentially just go straight down for like maybe a mile, and then you just kind of walk the rest of the way back through like long grass to back to camp, which is what we did. And then there's the other trail, aptly named the Trail of Tears.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
in the sun. It is completely in the sun. You cannot avoid it. It is all switchbacks, meaning you just kind of keep going back and forth forever, and the whole time base camp is in view. So you keep thinking you're very close.
Oh, no. That sounds like the worst thing ever. Jeez.
My favorite part is that one of the guys in the other group, because they ended up taking the Trail of Tears, he was so tired from hiking that he dumped some of his water, which is a problem because because the last like day or 2 of camping is you going through dry camps, so there is no water refills until you get back to base camp. So
Oh,
he was really lacking in water.
yeah. Why? What? Why would you dump your water? I don't
I don't know,
understand.
man. They were giving him crap for it the whole time, and they were also giving him water because he kept like losing his mind. So I remember back in base camp that we kept just like taking bets, like, oh, how long are they gonna be until they get back? So we ended up getting back. We woke up at around maybe 7, and we ended up getting back at around maybe 11 o'clock. And we're like, yeah, maybe they'll be back in time for lunch at 1. And then it was noon, and then it was 1, and it was like then it was 2, and we're like, oh, maybe they'll be back by 5, and then it was 3, and then it was 4. Then it was 5, and we're like, this is kind of taking them a while. They should be back by
Oh
now.
no.
I think they ended up getting in at around 7, so they barely caught dinner. Otherwise, they would have had to make dinner. It's like, oh,
Jeez.
you poor guys. They were at a camp that was a little bit farther away than we were, but we're like, oh god, I hope they didn't take the Trail of Tears.
Oh no.
They ended up taking the Trail of Tears. It was so sad.
Oh no.
This is gonna be a mini-sode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is a terrible way to end off our podcast, is on a mini.
Oh, yeah.
We're not even gonna give the people all of the content.
No. Diego and
guess
I
since
are
we-
still mad at each other for the divorce.
Yeah, I'm mad that you took the house, but I got to keep the name of the podcast. So, I mean, I guess if we must, for the last time on this podcast, before we obviously super realistically go our separate ways. Do you want to promote anything?
Yes. I know. Okay, so I know I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I am planning on streaming. I don't know when. Not
just
really
stream.
sure.
It's really that easy.
I know.
That easy.
Well,
Press a
now,
button,
now that I have an actual like good computer, I can do it pretty easily now. So
what can we come to expect on your streams?
I have no idea. I don't know yet because
Just whatever you feel like.
because starting within a couple days here, I'm gonna start doing full time at my work. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But I plan on streaming probably just some like horror games, and then I actually am planning on buying Minecraft soon for like the PC. So I might do that. I don't know which version to buy. I don't know if I should get the Java or the Bedrock. I'm not really sure which one, but
depends on what your favorite flavor of Minecraft is. Bedrock is nice because it gives you crossplay, but Java's nice because it has mod support.
yeah, I was like, I bought the demos for both Java. I didn't buy. Well, I got the demos for Java and the Bedrock, and I think overall I like the Java better. I just like how it plays better and it runs better for some reason on my computer because
It's because it's native. It's native on the computer.
Yeah.
Whereas Bedrock is a port.
But I was like, maybe I should get Bedrock because I know a lot of my friends have it on like either Switch or PS4, so maybe I could play it on there. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm not really sure. And I think Java is cheaper by like $5 or $6, which isn't a huge amount, but yeah.
I mean, I have both, so no matter which way you end up going with it, I can play with you. So
Nice.
yeah. I
That
ended up getting Java for work because I needed it to like for my work where I'm coding stuff. We ended up running a camp where we could like import models into Minecraft that we made in like in a program called Tinkercad. And so like yeah, you could but you had to do it in Java because it didn't work in Bedrock.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna get Java just because I like how it's gonna play, and like I think I should probably take precedence over multiplayer with single player because I mean I like the single player of Java better, so I'll probably just do Java.
I'm gonna promote my Twitter because I don't really do I post much to Twitter. Realistically, if I ever make like a new YouTube video, if I ever go streaming, it'll usually go out on Twitter right away. So that is gonna be my promotion for today. Is go follow me on Twitter. I'm at BigBroGoGo. I'm there. So yeah, I will also promote our very very cool, Twitter for this podcast. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that since this is the last one, obviously for realsies. But if you want, you can go follow us on Twitter at AFTR YouTube. That is our official Twitter for this podcast. And that will give you, if you want to hear when these podcasts go up, for sure, go follow that Twitter. It is the fastest way to get these podcasts because me and Bill are only so fast at getting those up.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, so thank you so much to listening to our very epic and cool podcast. I'm sorry it's the last one, but see you guys hopefully within a week or two, because even though it's the last one, you got this podcast will keep going.
Oh, indeed. So now it's our time to lower it into the ground and say our goodbyes.
Do you have like a very cool does this podcast have like a last song that it wanted played while we lowered the casket or whatever?
I don't have one. You took those in the divorce. I'm sorry.
Put the Spider-Man 2 pizza theme. Just put in like the Spider-Man 2 pizza theme. That'll work, I think.
All right. So now we'll just have a brief moment of silence.
Yep, we'll let the song play out. This is a really long casket lowering. Bill, I'm scared. Bill, please. Bill.
Wait.
Bill, the casket's opening. It's scary.
I think I hear something.
Bill, the casket's opening.
I know. Diego. Do you know what time it is, Diego?
What time is it?
It's time to enjoy a fresh glass of mellow yellow.
Yeah! I gotta make that mellow yellow. Ah, crap! What's
I don't remember what it was. This is our sponsor.
Make the yellow mellow move. Make the mellow yellow. Make the sentence mellow. Make the mellow. You know what I mean. This epic podcast was brought to you by Mellow.
Jesus Christ! I know. I need to at Mellow Yellow on Twitter when I post this. So that
Please do. And if you get a response, it'd be really funny.
I doubt it.
They've been dead on Twitter for a while.
Yeah.
I do really like looking at our official Twitter page, and we're following 2 people.
Oh yeah.
Following the official Mellow Yellow, and then another place that I don't think you meant to follow.
Oh wait, oh yeah. If it's the place I'm thinking of, then yes, it is. Here, wait, let me see. I know this was gonna be our funeral, but too bad. I need to see this.
Well, this funeral is sponsored by Mellow Yellow.
Dude, imagine if you could have your funeral sponsored by someone.
Dude, somebody would do it. You know they would.
Okay, yes. I meant to follow this. So this is, I guess I'll promote them. I don't know. I don't know. Like
I'm gonna promote Mellow Yellow on Twitter. Go follow Mellow Yellow.
This place is called Spin Zone Sports. It was the attempt by one of my other buddies and one of my managers at work to create like a blogging like news thing about sports, and I think it's dead.
Oh, that's sad.
Because I think like just with their work schedules and everything, they just couldn't really do it, and then it just kind of died out. So that's sad. But yeah, because the last time they posted something on Twitter was December 26th of 2020.
Maybe if we give them enough follows, they'll come back.
Everyone, go check out Spin Zone Sports.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna end the recording right now.
You know, and as we say in the business, make the Mellow Yellow move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, don't get lost.
Get lost.